have a tankard in your hand, sitting and simply enjoying the wind as it sweeps over you. That fresh breath of salt air and the sea's spray every now and again as you hit choppy waters. The sun is half hidden behind some overcasts, creating these dancing lights on the waters. But it is not too much longer after midday, and you've been journeying for some time. But what is Take's narrative that he gives for being here on the Pirate Islands?
Yeah, Take probably just has a low, just kind of glazes over a story of, it's been a whole thing with the whole life back home. Couldn't really had it, Father got mauled by a bear. Mother went off to the king's guard. It's a whole thing. So, I go down to the docks, find me a job. Here I am.
Classic. Your classic case of father mauled by a bear and mother going off to the king's guard.
I know. It's a cliche, but it's the truth.
Well, you wear it well.
Appreciate that.
Bixi, remind me of your story. How did you come to be at the Pirates Islands? I have not heard very much from you.
And as I pull the flute away from my mouth,
Have you been playing this whole time?
I've been playing the whole time.
Dope.
Love it.
I'm not going to let that get away without our first D20 roll of this game.
Oh,
yes.
yes.
Performance check.
The first one. It's too bad you don't have a hero token.
How about a 7?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Dude.
And you begin to wonder if she called on you to talk, perhaps because of the 7 you just rolled. And by the way, this non-combat roll was brought to you by our patrons, who many of whom voted. Each of them were given 1 hero token to gift to any of the 4 of us here. And I'm sorry to say, but of the 4 people that voted, all 4 have gone to me, the danger mom, to include more danger and less mom my position.
Yay!
You kind of get the impression that I'm still trying to feel it out. So you see my hand kind of like whirling by the pan flute, and air continues to pass over as I'm trying to get the notes just right.
Nice.
And I'm thinking, we've always been of the sea.
Or of a return or stay at your home.
It calls me.
You couldn't find my home. We stay well hidden. But to find something greater than yourself, maybe for yourself or for someone you owe, I'll be topside.
Yes, and Bixi here, in fact, finds the ancestry among those of the most ancient of beings. Those who were around during those primal days where the elements were chaos. It is an honor to be in the presence of one such as you.
That sounds interesting. Bixi, how long have you been on the jellyfish?
I pull a rod off of my shell, and it's just almost like a long bamboo rod. 5 years.
Wow!
And I pull a cork off the top and start to drink from it.
Yes! Experienced, I like it.
We need to sail with turtles more often.
We should, yes.
Always looking for not just bigger riches, not just something worth having, but something no one else.
The tales of legend, leaving behind a legacy.
I, myself, have only been sailing with the crew of the Jellyfish for a few months. But when they found me at the archipelago, I knew that this was the right crew to work with. So you are amongst good people.
Found you as in just recruited you, or you didn't like wash up or anything?
My captain over there found himself studying things that had already interested me for many years. It's hard amongst the free islands of the people to find others who would rather find their nose in a book rather than... I could have said something really dirty here, but I will just say...
Well, go on.
Above the bottle, neck of a bottle.
Don't spare us. We've heard much worse.
I was gonna say between the taws of a working lady, but...
Oh, that was hardly anything.
See,
I was going to pay you if you scandalized me. It happens so rarely.
But, you know, yes, I just have met you both and would like to get to know you better before making such comments.
That is very polite of you.
Well, I was raised in a polite society, but I had about enough of it after the 12 years that I spent in it.
Society could be crazy. You know, you think you're making it in life, and next thing you know, your father gets mauled by a bear.
Truly cliche and yet still tragic, yes.
Yeah.
And,
All right, cheers.
Yeah. Awkward silence, filled with tankards clanging, and just as everyone's finishing their next swig, which patrons, if you're watching, you got your bootleg brewery glass, go ahead and take a swig with us as we cheers.
I should have filled my glass. I actually
Mine
got
too.
my bottle, and I've got
Nice.
bootlegger's wine from Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
Hey, there you
I should
go.
have busted up.
Nice. You know that stuff's gonna be good.
Mm-hmm.
Blackberry.
And just as everyone's finishing their swig,
Well, she, yes. And this is my good friend, Sigrid here.
I was just about to say I had yet to ask of you. What brought you to the islands?
Oh, It's not such an unusual tale. I was just a little street urchin running around in a city where fathers got mauled by bears and mothers ran off to the city guard, and it just wasn't a good environment for children, I think. And I stowed away, and then...
You become an adult pretty quick.
Yes, very. And I wanted to go somewhere where there were fewer bears, ideally.
There seems to be something about the city guard.
And the King's got it, I believe.
All the guards. They're just a little... They go after moms, not that I blame them.
Oh, the king's horses. The
I
special.
don't understand.
My story's not unique. It's not very exciting, and we don't need to really dig into it. It's not like there's a terrible dark past there at all. It's all boring. So here I am.
We're lying.
Mm.
Too mysterious and boring.
Yes,
She
preferably.
does yet another toast.
What's important is the present. And what's to come.
Yes, and I believe you will be fascinated by what is to come. Cut to in the middle of battle. 30 minutes from now.
Screaming. Bears going in? Ah! I thought we were rid of bears!
My God, it's the entire
Sea
city guard.
bears.
It's the entire city guard on a ship.
They've stolen our mothers.
It's every mother. The ship is the MILF.
Oh yeah,
Sea
man, I
milf.
love frogs. Yeah.
Mothers, I'd like to fight, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Fight. What were you thinking?
Fight, obvious.
Vincent.
Ooh, fence. Good. That's a good one.
They're very dexterous,
Sporty.
city guard.
Oh yeah.
You there, thief! Stop!
Parrying all day.
On God.
After a while, you guys see that most of Captain Harem's ice hat has melted, and he's taken to kind of tossing up in the shape of a coin bits of water as somebody else has taken the wheel. And doing kind of that same trick where he's like freezing it in the air and then catching it and then just kind of tossing the ice coin into the waters, just kind of passing the time. And the loot music has stopped as everyone's eating a bit of rations. The waters have been calm, and it seems that Zelaya has gone to help the navigator, and they seem to be talking quietly. So it's been a couple hours. You've kind of acclimated yourselves to these ships, or to this ship and this crew. Where do we see each of your PCs right now?
Yes, definitely gathered a few merry crew members, and we're all just kind of sharing a drink and just kind of playing a game of quarters, and we're slapping quarters off that table and just into the glasses.
I think Sig is probably watching and rooting everyone along as they flip their quarters.
Bixi's playing on the deck. He's got a boomerang that he's been using on the open water. As the air just catches it and brings it back to the ship.
That's fun. I love that. Every now and again, like, the wind kind of hits it to a little bit of an angle and, like, whizzes past the ear of one of the crew members.
You'll see, like, a mage hand go up and grab it if I'm going to miss it.
Love that. Captain Harem tries joining the game of quarters with his ice coins. Of course, they're lighter and more brittle, so
They melt and are worth nothing.
yeah, they're just building
Good for cooling drinks.
Morale.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, if it was like a tankard of drink that you're trying to get the quarters into, yeah, he's just adding ice, really. But most of them just shatter off the side or on the table as soon as he tosses them down.
Oh, keep trying, Captain. You'll get there.
I guess I win.
That was worth a shot. And so after a few hours, the navigations, let's give Zelaya a roll. 15 total on navigation. Your ship is making good time as in the distance what seems to be a set of cliffs, and any of you either trained in navigation or having sailor in your background, you know that you've been heading northeast for quite some time, which is obviously moving away from the Lock Islands, very central. But in the southeast, there's the archipelago, a collection of islands, a little bit more chaotic even than the Lock Islands themselves. And so it seems that you're kind of making a beeline for a couple dozen miles north of the archipelago. And you see these collection of cliffs begin to appear on the horizon as one of the pirates calls out, "Land ho!"
Finally.
And Zelaya turns around and says, "All right, crew. Soon we will make our way to the mouth of the cave. Everyone, be well attentive for what lies within. We cannot be fully certain of."
Is our ship gonna fit in that cave?
And she just kind of smiles and turns around, watching the caves approach.
Okay.
I guess that's a yes. We'll find out.
Yeah. Are any of
Sigrid,
you...
have you spotted any lifeboats anywhere?
Oh, that's a good question. Have we got any lifeboats on board?
It is such a small ship that no, there are... there's plenty of crates and merchandise kind of on the top deck that if in a bind you could empty one out to try to float with it or something, but not anything you can make a getaway in.
Good news, bad news. Good news, we probably won't drown.
Okay.
Bad news is we're probably going to have to build our own ship if anything happens to this one.
I'm not much of a shipwright.
We're just going to have to make do.
Okay. We'll figure something out.
Wind begins to kind of pick up with these cliffs catching the wind and kind of creating a bit of a turbine as you approach. Nothing too crazy, but you do see the sails every now and again kind of flap one way then the other. And the captain is attentive at the wheel as the waters become a bit choppier. This has been quite some time since you shipped off, so night is approaching, and the stars look magnificent, but the same clouds that were covering the sun earlier seem to have moved along with you in the wind, and so much of the sky is actually blotted by these evening clouds, but there is a beautiful orange and red shimmer laying over, but again, every now and again, kind of that the rays are moving through, the colors moving through those darkened spots of clouds above you. And the captain, his mustache is rather large and kind of sticks out. You can kind of see his hairs at the ends of his mustache begin to rise, and kind of little hints of blue begin to spark from hair to hair, and you can kind of see this sly grin growing on his face.
Yeah, I want to go and rub elbows with him, just your captain ship. Wanted to ask you formally, what's your deal?
Subtle.
Is this a bit?
Subtle as
Oh
ever.
no, not at all.
Not a bit. Okay. Me, I'm just here to be on the ocean, sail the waves, and find something that will make it so I don't have to do that so often.
Oh yeah. A big cache, I understand that for sure. I was very curious about the tinge of temperature drop when you ever come around.
It's just the scent, the aura of one who's been on the waters for most of his life.
Okay, right. I guess I have a few more years to go before I have that type of effect.
You need to marinate a little bit more first.
Haven't spent enough time in the soup.
And he smiles, and one of his canines is marked with gold. It's got a gold cap on. He just smiles and says, "Well, if you're sticking on with the jellyfish, you'll find yourself acclimated soon enough."
I'm growing to like the jellyfish.
And as he says that, his hand actually reaches out over. He's still keeping on the wheel, but his hand stretches out, and that same electricity that's kind of been building, that same energy, that storm, like almost static electricity, right? It's kind of buzzing around him. Begins to.
Yeah, I've got
focus.
strands of hair that are just kind of like.
As he reaches his hand forward, what start as collections of small lightning bolts kind of between his fingers actually grow to the strands of water. So it seems like he's switching elements, and he collects the water up, and he does something where the water becomes almost more like jet streams of air, and he fires out his hand like this, and the water splashes down almost like a balloon being popped, and the water just spilling from his hand, and then those jet streams of air hit everyone in the crew all at once, kind of like magic missiles, and the air goes straight up your nostrils, and your throat, it feels like you've just choked a bit or swallowed salt water. He has just cast water breathing on the entirety of the crew.
A confident sign.
And Zelaya like kind of leans forward like, "You really have to warn us each time." I have not gotten used to that. Yeah.
No. I like the surprise.
I'll move to the starboard side to watch the approaching rock.
Dark brown, but not quite black stones sticking up, and they have rivets all throughout. Some parts jutting out larger than others, of this like smooth, almost like a giant like line of teeth, but not like sharp at the end, rounded at the top, but they almost look like just a long line of teeth that go up shape, and there seems to be land or an island at the top of it that goes back for some time, but this northern facing part of the cliffs is shaped in this odd way, and you all are getting somewhat close but leaving some distance between you and these cliffs. The way that the waves hit splash water up those divots in between each of the larger mounds of rock, where they've been just etching away slowly for hundreds, maybe even thousands of years. And you seem to be coming towards the middle of the this far away from any other people island, and I think remote could have worked there. Remote island. All the words had like little dashes in between them. This remote island where nobody is close to it. And as you come up to the middle, you see this larger gap open up, teardrop style, and there seems to be a long cavern created. And the captain, he's just kind of finished his bout of laughter, watching some of the crew members just shoot back, or imagine just suddenly a hair dryer goes off in your face, right? The gust of air that went into their nose. Ship approaches and they begin to lay anchor and slow and stop in front of this cavern. And Zelaya turns around again and says, "You asked me earlier if the ship could fit within this cave. Unfortunately, the answer is no. But we're hoping to draw out the danger to us." And you see some of the crew members set up these smaller cannons. They're like the hand cannons that you would see at the front of ships, but they've been part of the boxes and barrels amongst the top deck. They begin to bring all of them over to that starboard side, aimed at the mouth of this cave.
Okay. Whatever we're up against is coming from in there.
Based on the texts, something dangerous lies within. We're not sure what it will materialize as, but we have a better chance of drawing it out rather than wading into its domain.
I'll get my Patronus ready.
You're not a warlock. Patronus? Yeah? No.
Never too
Anyone
late
else?
to give me a hero token.
Please, patrons, save me.
Why do we not have that set up as a channel point?
No.
Yeah, if any of our patrons who haven't voted are in the chat, let us
Hey, wait,
know.
that's me. I haven't voted.
Oh, shoot. That's true.
I was trying to be honest and not use it, but
You just give it to Andrew anyway.
we're pirates. I'll cheat. It's fine.
Yes, in the spirit of all things pirate.
I actually, since you are patron cast, a real bona fide one, here with us, I will let you use that hero token at any point.
Hey. Love
So you can just surprise react to whatever action and use that hero token.
Heck yeah.
Yes, nice.
Can
And
I toss
impose-
it to anybody else if they need it?
Oh yeah. You
Rad.
can be like, "Hey, you take this now."
You need some help.
Yeah, and
Help.
it can either be, so it's more than inspiration, because you can impose advantage or disadvantage given
Ooh.
the circumstance.
Very
That
cool.
is handy.
Thanks, Danger Mob, in advance.
We'll see if I just screwed myself over. But I have 4, so I just counterspell all your hero tokens.
No.
Oops, stream's offline.
Actually, you can't.
No.
Wait, Cass, what happened to the stream? We
Dunno.
promise we won't refresh our page anymore.
No, it's fine. I'm just kidding. I would never.
Oh my gosh,
I would
I felt
never.
so bad about that.
No, please don't. Seriously, like, tech issues just happen. So, for anyone who has
yeah.
not streamed and is thinking about it, just know it's gonna happen. It's okay.
Oh yeah.
No sweat.
Inevitable. Yeah, just waiting for the organ to come up, like do do da do da do do dee 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 doo doo.
Oh,
We are
Annalise in
experiencing-
chat. Let me know when you want a token. They forgot to give it.
Sweet. So, with all of our hero tokens lined up and a few surprise ones in the bag, you guys way outside the entrance of this cavern. It's real spooky.
Are we supposed to ring the doorbell?
You actually all hear not a doorbell, but you hear a kind of like low humming at first, and Zalea like kind of joins in, and Bixi with their panpipe kind of hits that harmony and just kind of like a laying like
Take looks side to side and joins in too.
What's going on? And a
Bixi turns to Seg, and I'm like,
Oh, I would only make that worse. I'm here in spirit.
Yes.
and a few more of the crew members as if to start a joyous shanty, perhaps. But you have left Shantytown behind. Here on the open waters in front of mysterious cave entrances on mysterious remote islands. You are instead met with a longer, almost Gregorian chant type singing coming from Captain Harem. And they bellow out this tune, and as they sing, it almost sounds conch-like, as if being blown out, like his vocal cords are just vibrating at that lower register enough to sound instrumental rather than human. And as the pitch begins to rise, there is a shaking amongst the waters. Just what you want to hear. Something is moving in the waters toward you, but the something isn't something, Cass. Sig watches as it is simply what looks to be a shadow remains as such. It doesn't form into anything formidable, you know, just as you're maybe going for your weapon. It seems to disapparate around the ship, almost like surrounding and beginning to swirl underneath, kind of joining in the water movement now is just, it almost seems a reaction to the voices. Now like pretty much a full round has gone by. Are any of you who are not singing or whatever, do any of you want to like take action? You look up and you see like a bit of sweat going down Zalea's face, but the captain, his eyes are closed. He's just leading this song.
Yeah, if like I obviously see those cannons getting wheeled out, and I definitely unsheath my cutlass.
Okay.
the captain's calm. I am calm.
Wise. Sig is gonna have her hand rested on her rapier, but she's not gonna pull it out just yet. I think she wants to see what's gonna happen before committing to anything.
Also, while no one's paying attention, I stow the pamphlet.
Where'd it go?
All had a 1 in 8 chance, and something's looking out for you all. As you watch from in front of the cave, that same darkness that was under the water, it seems to form into a sharp-fingered hand and just reach up over the rail and grab one of the sailors singing and just and Wind Elm screams into the waters.